the screen where we start with the assets. Let's go to the assets, and suppose I create a new asset. I say add asset. So asset type, I'll choose expensed. Let's say I choose equipment. Okay, do you see this? Santosh, Rakesh?
I can see that.
Okay, so this
Yes.
combination is not valid. Now, if I change this and I make this building office,
Mainly categories or category that matching should be there.
yes. So that combination yesterday through the Excel sheet, what did I do? I chose the expense as the asset type, but I put the category as building office, which we had uploaded before. Always remember, what you can't do through the application, you will not be able to do by the Excel sheet or by uploading the files and any of the APIs or any of the programs. So first, it is always better to do it manually and check whether that is working or not. So the only category that it will accept here is the expensed one. Santosh,
Yes, Gaurav.
did you see that?
Yes.
So is that clear? So this is the issue that we were having with the expense asset upload one. So if I now go back to our, see here, along with this cell phone and these, if I click on, see, then I had to make it as expensed cell phones. Got it?
Okay.
Now if I click on these, it will open up. So the category here is expensed cell phones. Okay. Now once these are in the, these are properly done, they are in the post, ready to post queue. You can say which are the ones. You can say post all. So, Rakesh, when you used to add so many assets in your organization, did you use a spreadsheet or was this done manually?
Now we were using spreadsheet. Actually, when I joined the organization, the asset was really messed up. So there
Okay,
was no other way.
okay. And you had one person putting it in, or there were two, three people?
AP team were putting in, and I was used to approve and everything.
Okay. So typically you're talking about like AP will enter the invoice once it is procured and then they will transfer it over and then you will review it and create it.
Yes, asset management was under me.
Asset management. Okay.
So not only asset management, reporting and everything.
Good, Kamal.
Okay. So from here we can go to inquire assets. These are the recent additions. Not yet added. Oh, return. So these are the ones that got added. Okay. Clear.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Santosh,
Yes, sir.
you clear about this?
Yeah.
What was the issue and how we can resolve, how we resolved it?
Yes.
Okay. Now today what we'll do is we'll do that integration between AP and asset. Okay, we'll create an invoice in payables and then we will transfer that over to assets. So we'll first go to payables. So let's create an invoice. Santosh, you are comfortable with these areas now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Your confusion about GL?
That is still there. I need to visit 2, 3 times. Then I'll.
Okay. Let me know if you need any other
Sure.
inputs there. Um, Best thing is you try it. Wherever you get stuck, feel free to ask. Then it will clear it out. So this is the US business one, and we can have a quick supplier. See ABC Consulting. Okay. And rest of it remains as it is. Now, there's nothing much at the header. At the lines level, when you're procuring the or you're paying for the asset, basically, you have these. You can remove this one. It's not contractor, and we can put in. We'll put in the distribution here. See, there is a tab for the asset. Okay, do you see this here? Okay, This asset, you click on asset. Under here, you have to click track as asset. Okay. So you see, once you bring it here, your help says transfer information to Oracle Fusion Assets when creating mass addition. If this is relating to a project, you put in all the project related information over here: project number, tax number, expenditure type, contract number, funding, etc. All right. And then we have our taxes to be calculated. So we will say save, or we can click on this and say calculate tax. And we'll populate our distributions as well. So 10,900. For the distribution part, we'll go here and we can enter the distribution. So we will put this. So we choose the account, and let's say we pick up a asset account. So now there's no remaining amount. We save and close this. And then we validate it. So now it's validated. So this is just like, a normal invoice. Only thing that was difference was for track as asset. Okay. And then we say save and close. If you want to create more, those can be created. So here, these are the create mass additions. So accounting date, put it as today's date, and the asset book is a progress US. Okay, so this is the one that we have access to. Okay, let's see. Give it a few minutes. You can go and check in the queue also. This one completed. This is the output file that we are going to be looking at. Oops. Now I have blank. See, the assets here is asset book is the progress US. this in the Progress US business unit. Last time we had done it at the US one business unit. Other thing we have to do for the asset is track as asset. Oh, the zero times. So now validate it. Save and close. Delete mass addition. Let's do it in that period of February because that is the period that is open. Asset group would be
Your
the
voice is very feeble, Saurabh.
okay.
Yeah,
Now
this
what
is
I is it better now?
No.
very low here.
Now I don't know. It was okay before, right?
Yes.
I don't know what happens. Let me do a test and check. Hello,
Yeah, it's better.
it's better.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I did was I created it in the Progress legal entity. Earlier one was in the US one legal entity. So this time let's go and check the process. Blank. The other issue could be we created the invoice in the month of
Again, your
June.
voice is low, Saurabh.
Uh, the other issue could be we have the invoice in the month of June, right? As of today's date, but we were trying to put it in the month of February. So that could be another issue. So let me just run it as of today. So this will get submitted once again. The subsequent processes are not running. Let's take a look at the log file. So it's not finding that particular invoice for creating the assets. So we'll have to go and see why that is happening. These are the two recent invoices we created. This is progress. Progress US business unit, progress US legal entity, track as assets. This is also ticked. Invoice is validated. Let me check the other asset book, okay, which belongs to the other employees, and see if the in that book it got created. If the person has access to that book, then we can submit in that book. Otherwise, we'll have to go and create one role for this user and then do it in that. And AC Brown. Hey, Tumpa. Whatever Amazon allies. What do you need? So here under the assets, we can check which books they have access to. This is the US Corp. US Corp. This is the US Corp that has they have access to. So let me just go and change the role. So that will be it'll give us access to that. Just 1 minute. Just hello. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give access to the role to that person, to this fin IMPL user, which will have access to the US legal books, legal entity books. And if we go into the financials and under the fixed assets. Is the Vision Corporation. And if you look at the books, we had the Progress US book. Okay. So the ledger here is the Progress US is linked to Progress US primary ledger. Okay. So this all transactions in Progress US primary ledger comes into the Progress. And if we look at that's the calendar book class. And if we look at the categories, so these are all the different categories, and this is the book, and these are the different accounts it is linked to. So for the progress, let's go. Progress US is the Progress US primary ledger. So that's ours was in the primary ledger only. Progress US primary ledger. So we'll have to just double check that whether it is in the primary ledger or not. And the other thing here we can do is we can add a role to that person, which will give access to the US one. This is the US progress UK. Progress US. So if we go to payables, we can look at our invoices and this is the one for Progress US. This is the legal entity Progress US. Okay, so that's the process. I don't know why it's not getting created. If we use the other one, the US Corp is the other one for the US legal entity. This will take care of the US one legal entity that we have. Not totally blank. Again, I'll have to check this out. I don't know why it's not happening. The process is exactly the same. At the time of entering the invoices, we'll have to track it as an asset and then run the mass addition through which it will get over to the fixed asset side. Now, on the asset side, the month of February that it is open. Okay, I'll check this out. Maybe it is the date that is causing the issue. So we'll have to check that out. Okay, and now whenever any asset is created, okay, like we saw in this inquire, Santosh and Rakesh, you can hear me?
Yes, Saurav.
Okay, okay. I'll just have to double check why that is not working. It is exactly the same process. Rakesh, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
Oh,
sir.
okay. So I'll have to double check why that is not happening. Okay, and the process is the same. There'll be no change to the process. It's, I think, the data issue that is coming up, access at, at the date and the conflict that is there. Now, against these assets that we have now, for any particular asset, yesterday we saw that, how we can quickly add that asset with the minimum amount of information. And when you review the asset, you might have to go back and keep updating the information relating to your asset. Okay, so whether it is the value of the asset or some transactions that you have done on the asset, or any depreciations or any value additions that you might have done to those assets. So everything, all single place for reviewing your asset related information is this. So under the transactions tab, you will see all transactions relating to your asset over here. Okay, so whether it is addition, retirement, impairment, whatever it is, you will see them over here. And against this, you might have to, from time to time, besides adjustment of assets, you might have to transfer the assets from one book to another book, or you might have to impair assets, you might have to adjust the asset. So whatever you're doing, you have a corresponding function over here. Okay, so whether it is reinstatement of, maybe retiring of assets, so you can retire a particular asset by clicking on this, and you can search for that asset by the asset number, or you can use either individual one by one, or you can use the mass way. So through this mass, you have a group of transactions, and then you can do the retirement or the reinstatement based on what you plan to do. So either one or many. Similarly, you have your transfer of assets. You also have the ability to do them in the spreadsheet. Okay, so you can update individually, or you can do them uh, in mass. So several assets you can go and update at the same time. Transfer, impair, adjust assets. Let's do one and see. So these are the assets that we have. And if you want to do any kind of adjustments,
Saurav, I have another meeting. I will leave for the now. I will see the video.
okay, okay, okay. Today's actually main topic was that only. So, okay, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, now against these, when you, in case you want to update any particular, any financial information for these, you can also come here and click on update descriptive details. So when you say update descriptive details, you can pull up the asset based on the access that is granted. Okay, so let's say this is the office building and you want to change the descriptive details, then you click on that. Okay, and click on change descriptive details. So this opens in the edit mode. So when you open it in the edit mode, then you will be able to update. If you click on the asset and go into that particular asset, you don't have an option to edit. But if you click on change descriptive details, that is where you will be able to update things. Let's say a serial number. Okay, so your serial number gets updated based on what you are doing. Similarly, if you want to do any kind of adjustments that we were looking at, so if you say adjust assets, search for building type of asset, so whichever one you click on, then these separate buttons open up. If you want to change the category, if you want to transfer the source lines, if you want to change the financial details, okay, so for that financial details, you get the financial portion of this editable. So initially, based on whatever information you had got, you had updated it. This was like 10 lakhs. So maybe it wasn't 10 lakhs. You want to make it change the value. One extra zero had come in.
Gaurav,
Yeah.
what do you mean by capital assets?
Capital assets are those assets which you use to produce other goods, which through which you are making an earning. For,
Example?
for example, in a factory, you install a machine. That machine is going to produce goods, which will get you the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So that machine is of a capital nature. That means you are using it to produce revenue.
Okay.
So that is of a capital nature. Whereas if you look at an expense one means it's not directly producing any revenue, but you are utilizing that. So we are expensing it. It's quite like you are, you are by using it, you are reducing its value continuously. For example, the mobile phone expense that we had expense, so that is an asset, right? Because the company is investing, your company is giving it to the employee, but it is not fetching the revenue directly. They can't sell that mobile and get the revenue. They are using that uh, mobile to give service. Maybe the salesperson has it or the maintenance guy has it, right? So that is being utilized in providing the service, but not directly generating revenue. Whereas a capital asset is directly generating the revenue. Understood?
Yes. And what about the fixed assets?
Fixed asset is a term that we use. Usually we say fixed assets or liquid assets, or these are common terms that we use. Fixed asset is originally, it was like, something which is not movable. So it's a fixed, like machine. You install it in your factory and you don't move the machine, right? Or the factory, you don't move it from place to place regularly. So those were originally thought of as fixed asset, but over a period of time, the definition of assets has also changed, right? If you look at an IT company, most IT companies who don't own buildings or who don't own offices, they don't have any assets at all, right? But they are also generating in revenue, huge amount of revenue. So fixed asset was originally a term that was used to mean an immovable asset, which you cannot move.
Okay. Because I was going through our client's BPA document. Okay.
Hmm.
So I was picking the words from there. What are those?
Yes. That's how we actually, once you get a word you don't know, you know, look into it, ask. So that will clear out your doubts also. In industry nowadays, wherever they talk about fixed asset, they mean everything, all types of assets. As you can see here, they are talking about fixed asset, but your asset could be of any category,
Mm-hmm.
right? So based on what type of asset you have, category is the important one. Is it a capitalized asset, or is it, so that asset type defines what type of asset it is. So this is about making adjustments to the assets. And
Why is taking a long time?
I don't know. It shouldn't take so much time. Just have to go back to the home page again. Sometimes the network also causes it. It's not able to reach the server. I hope they haven't brought down the server now. Oh my God. Meeting invite. What's happening? I think it's not getting a connection to the server.
Can you close and open this?
I have tried to open a new window. I think they must be doing the maintenance. See, even the login page is not coming. Probably they are taking it down now.
Hmm.
Lucky we at least could have 1 hour of the session. Santosh, looks like we'll have to stop here.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a look at these, what we have done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Try to upload your asset, create the asset manually. Okay. At least that part, once